Tell me what you see when you look at me. Do you see another brother lost in these streets looking for his soul?
Trying to find my soul.
Or do you see another brother searching for lost souls in these streets? A street soldier.
Street soldier.
Here to help you get that chip off your shoulder, warm your colder days and sober your drunken ways, and find a way to help you get over these hurdles placed in our path. And this is not meant to amuse you. This is for all those who have questions but are afraid to ask.
I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. No. When times get hard, you lose your way. Open your mind and hear what I say.
This is a message for the hard and the soft. To those who tune in weekly and to those who keep an eye out for 8 p.m. on Sundays and turn their radios off. The truth hurts. The cloth has been pulled. We're walking around half dead. Use this show as your IV. Alive and free is a new movement. We've achieved self-destruction. A street soldier promotes self-improvement.
Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah. Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah.
Alive and Free Radio, Street Soldiers. Here we go. We got a special, we call it a soldier story, We're going to be talking to a gentleman and some other folks about, he actually listened to us. I know a lot of you out there be like, we have a way of saying how long you listen, how well you listen determines how long you live. You like that?
Coachism.
Wow.
You like that?
Yeah.
That's a coachism.
Yes, a coachism. Given to us by an elder, who it was very deep, very elderly, and very wise.
Could you say that one more time?
Yes. How well you listen determines how long you live. Coach Wilbur Jiggets, got to give it to him. He was the grandfather of the club, and he would drop these. Because whenever we talk to young people about why things don't go well for them, or as I put it, why a lot of young people don't make it or fall by the wayside, I love having these conversations. You say, give me the reasons. Sometimes I'll actually have them go write them on the board, right? You, go up the board, right? In the top 5, generally, by the time they don't listen. I didn't listen. So really, how well you listen does determine how long you live. And hold on to that thought, folks, because when I bring this person in here, I think he took that one to heart. In fact, it'd be interesting to find out how many of these things he still remembers. But before we get to him, I got to shout out a couple of folks. Well, one person in particular and an organization that did a lot. Tis the season, not to be jolly, but to graduate.
Yeah.
To get this graduation season. Yeah, it's really a great time of year. People, and we've done a couple of shows and talking about graduations and so on. So I want to congratulate all the graduates out there.
Yeah.
Whether it's from preschool, kindergarten. I said this before. People actually do have, preschool kindergarten graduations. Mm-hmm. All the way up. Middle school, high school. And I went to a graduation party yesterday. And so I want to congratulate this young lady. Her name is Juliana Davis. I would give her a shout out on the radio. She is off to Brown University. Juliana, congratulations. Your daddy and your mama threw you a party. They had 2 bands. Catered food. I don't want to give away too much. Look, they had, I ain't had no party like that ever. But it was like slamming. It was unbelievable. And great time. I saw some old friends there. Again, I walked in. I saw Manetta.
Oh, good.
I saw Manetta.
Oh, good.
Her and her husband, 1,300. They were there. And all these people started walking in. I was like, man, all these, it's funny when you go to a place, everybody know everybody. Yeah. What I like about these things, it's a generation party. So you got the adults and you got the kids and all had a great time. And the food was slamming. So, parents, wonderful job, wonderful job. Juliana, have a great time at Brown. Congratulations on your journey so far. I know it's going to be wonderful. And just wonderful job. Steve, you and your wife, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And man, your house is the bomb. And like I said, I would stay, but it ain't my house. You know the house I'm talking about.
Okay, I don't know.
Where that boy got a house? Where a house?
It was slamming.
Oh! I thought it was just like a few. I just went by. He said, "Come on by." I'm like, it was. Yes. I ate like crazy. Anyway, congratulations, Juliana. Secondly, I want to congratulate. Folks are just giving. I love people that give. The more you know, the more you owe. What's the other saying? Too much has been given, much is
Required.
right, required. Or what's the other? Giving back. So
With great power comes great responsibility.
all that stuff. It's all good stuff. So, and get a picture of this. I want to congratulate the members of the National
Black
Pan-Hellenic Council, San Francisco Bay Area. We had a scholarship reception today. All 9 of us, we're known as the Divine Nine. Everybody from, 9 of us, Greek organizations, Black Greek organizations, been around for forever. I think everybody's been around about 100 years now, just close.
At least.
But Lady Still belongs to one. I belong to one. And that's a great cover, isn't it? Black to the Future.
Black to the future.
We had all 9 of us got together and had a scholarship reception for all the folks that collectively we give scholarship. Each organization, some more than others, obviously, raise money and then give scholarships to mostly graduating seniors. Had it at Merritt College in the Huey P. Newton room. Huey would love that. Would love that. And you see the logos on the bottom,
Right.
and you see Delta Sigma Theta. She's smiling.
We see them all.
Yes. See Omega Psi Phi. I'm smiling. Okay. But the place was packed. I mean, we've had these before, but there was no room. It must have been 350 people there. It was crazy.
Who chaired this program?
I don't know, some guy. Anyway.
That give you a clue.
It was great. Spoken word artist.
Yours
was there.
truly.
Yeah, I had to make it happen. All right,
Dr. Marshall.
It was great. But here's the thing. Today, that group, collectively, the 9 of us gave away over $200,000 in scholarship money.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Look at your eyes. That's right. Look, they had one little girl, I don't remember her name. I think she got money from everybody. If we can get the person who was going to give us that update, we'll do that. And if not, well, then we won't. It's that simple.
Hi, yes, is this Tanisha?
Oh, we got Tamisha?
Hi, yes, this is 106 KML Street Soldier.
Hello, it's 106 KML. Dr. Marshall.
For sure, I'm gonna get you on there right now.
We got her? I'm going to yell at her.
Don't do that, Doctor.
Should I yell at her?
No, please don't.
Tamisha.
Hello.
You wasn't there when we called you. Tamisha. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we can hear you. Oh, yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you. Okay. How are you, first of all?
I'm doing pretty good. Just, after a hard action and doing just all of this thinking about how to continue to launch successful campaigns, just trying to kind of come down and get leveled.
So we're going to give the people, we only got a couple minutes here. We want to give folks an update on what happened yesterday. And this is all, well, I'll just read this. I got a little article here. Yesterday, May 30th, 2019, Safe Return Project and young folks from West Contra Costa County publicly presented their findings and recommendations for youth justice and decarceration. Oh, I never heard that word before. Decarceration. That's deep. Huh, all right, get people out of jail. All right. Both Contra Costa County and Richmond face a large racial disparity in youth contact with the juvenile justice system. And it goes on to quote things I think a lot of us know with black youth most affected by racial disparities and Hispanic and Latino youth second. So can we just tell us real quick, what's this study about? And what's I think I know the goal here. Why don't you tell what you're trying to do here?
Yeah, so the study for us was just it's a participatory action research study, and what it does for us as an organization is allow us to interview and do surveys with directly impacted populations, the people we consider to be closest to the pain that potentially had a solution to the challenges that they're facing. And so we've done this in the past continuously as an organization to identify the needs of particularly adults impacted by criminalization and incarceration in Contra Costa. And as a result of that research, it has led to significant changes around decarceration and putting resources back into communities for adults returning home from incarceration to achieve a certain level of restoration or success when they come home. So we as an organization have always wanted to think about what is our role when it comes to youth justice and how can we support the movement on the ground to decarcerate our young folks, whether it's eliminating police out of schools, what does that mean, what type of resources would young folks like, whether it's addressing the issues around violence that young people face in the community and how we can address that. And so it's been about 2 years, and we've been doing focus groups with young folks, and they took a survey that was 120 some odd questions. It was really long, just really getting their input on what do they think the changes need to be around resources that young people impacted by incarceration and criminalization, their families and communities need for them to be socially and academically successful.
So this is actually part of and it's not just happening here, but or even in California, it's part of a national movement to do something about the school to prison pipeline, or I like that word, decarceration. I never heard that before. Where would you personally like to see this go? I mean, do you think? Let me give you an example. In San Francisco, actually talking about, in fact, they're shutting down juvenile hall. I mean, no more juvenile hall. That is something that the Board of Supervisors are seriously looking at. Some folks like it, some folks don't. There are reasons for that. What would you like to see happen? I mean, and the other thing, you know how many studies are put out and nothing ever happens. But what would you like? What would you like to see happen?
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right about the idea that, we research things over and over,
yep.
And many studies come out and nothing happens.
Right.
Well, that hasn't been the history of Safe Return. We have published many research reports, and they have all led to significant institutional and policy and justice reinvestment change.
I should have known if you're involved, that's what happens.
Right. So the report, the publishing of the report this week wasn't just the report. It was actually a campaign launch.
Oh, okay.
Which is why the young folks were there, and we had the district attorney, Diana Beckton, there, folks from the county, county representatives there, city council members there, and representatives from the school board it was pretty much a public action to call them to act on behalf of young folks based on the recommendations in the report. So now we move forward and we actually start to organize to make that change happen. I think one of the biggest things for Safe Return is that we are still investing largely in these institutions in Contra Costa. The juvenile hall and the boys ranch, when incarceration of young folks in our county is actually really low.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that we can launch a justice reinvestment campaign where we can join the Dream Beyond Bars movement in California and begin to drive funding away from incarcerating our young folks back into our communities and our schools to address the trauma and disparity that our young folks face that drive them into the criminal justice system in the first place. And that's the goal for us, is to do that. I know we've also been challenged with the idea around diversion and law enforcement assisted diversion, and how we want to transform that and make diversion the step before a young person comes into contact with the criminal justice system. And that was some recommendations from young people for us around what they would like to see.
Girl, you know this stuff. Are you reading from a script?
No.
Damn, you know this stuff inside and out. Look at you.
Wow.
Look at you. Look, can we appoint you somewhere up there? Let me call Gavin, my boy Gavin. Like I know him. Well, I actually do know him. And the guy's phone. I do have phone number. But the point is, they need to appoint you. You know what you're talking about.
I've been over the last couple of years, so Safe Return is almost 10 years old. When we originally launched, our efforts were adults and youth. And we kind of got away from the youth piece and just focused on adults, and we've had a lot of accomplishments. And over the years, we've seen almost nothing move on behalf of young folks. And so over the last couple of years, we've been having dialogues, getting involved in schools, and just trying to think about what is our role as credible messengers. We consider ourselves as people with the direct experience that, like, we could come in and talk to young people who are facing these issues as credible messengers, people with the experience, and get the real lowdown on, like, what do they want to see change, and be able to invest in their leadership to make that happen. And so I don't have to read the report to know what's in it, because I've been able to have direct dialogue with young folks and been able to also mentor some young people who just, the YMCA is not going to work, and we gotta think more radically about what can we do. And the only way we can do that is if we let the young people guide us. I just give you a lot of credit. And, we've known each other a while. When you got out, you said, I'm going to make some changes, right? And you have. I mean, you just, I'm marveling at you as much as anything, that you got into this. It's become your life. Anything you can do, to help people stay out, and if they get in and then stay out, that's what you do. And I'm just marveling really at you and the work that you're putting into this. It's all love, it's all family here live, everybody live and free, radio, street soldiers, and this gentleman to my left, this gentleman to the left. I said I was going to let you guys introduce him. So you introduce him. Say who he is.
Charles Robinson.
And his relationship to you?
My father is Charles Robinson.
Okay, and you want to introduce him?
Yeah, Charles Robinson. Charles Robinson, a loving father. Father of three. What I can say is he does try to make his environment and the people around him better when, like, he pushes. So, like, when somebody falls down, he helps them back up and then pushes them to go farther.
Him?
More. Yes, sir.
Yes, most definitely.
Him?
Yes.
You talking about the same guy, C. Rob, I met years ago? I'm doing this on purpose, of course. That's wonderful to hear, because we're going to come back to the compliments later. I'm going to need you. First of all, I got to say this gentleman is Charles Robinson. I love this brother. And like I said, I built my life on the Charles Robinsons of this world. The Mike Gibsons, the Charles Robinsons.
Hey.
I started naming folks, the Jermaine Kings, the Andre Akins. And, I built my life on them. And we're going to take you on a little bit of journey. And I said earlier that we have a coachism. Some get it right away. Some get it sooner or later. Some never get it. And I gave another one, how well you listen determines how long you live. And when did we meet exactly now? We meet exactly.
Doc, we met, I would say, 1996, California Youth Authority, Gladiator School.
Yeah, Gladiator School. Yup.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that's a hell of a meeting place.
That's why your son was like a loving father.
Oh, man, I paid him with top ramen, so he good.
Yeah. And how did that exactly go? Was I coming up? Was Martin coming up? And just tell that story of how.
It was Coach. It was Martin Jacks, Bayon, and you had come in, and you guys were. That was first time they were doing transition, and you said, "Hey, you guys want a book? This is what's up. This is what you're gonna do." You gave us kind of homework, so came up. I'm like, "Hey, I need something to do while I'm here." So, and the first book I received was The Art of War. That was actually the first. That was the first book
Sun Tzu.
Yeah.
Right.
Mike
and then
Gibson swears by that book.
and it's a great book. It's a great read. It's a lot of military based stuff is based on the Art of War. So got that book, and it was nonstop from there.
Let's go back to what led you. And how were you? You must have been. How were you?
I was 15 years 15 years young. Yeah, what got me to Gladiator School I was doing my thing. I was hustling out in the streets. Some of you guys call it hustling. It was dope dealing actually, and got into it with this woman who was a snitch. Ended up snitching on myself and my crew, and I ended up putting dynamite in her house. So
what you saying?
That's a movie scene right there.
Yeah, that was
dynamite. Where do you even get? Where do you buy that?
I actually made that, man. It was a thing called the Anarchist Cookbook, man, that I found online. So, and it was like I said, man, this was a long time. So I'm not embarrassed about it no more. My kids know, so
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
nobody got killed, so that was good.
What was your upbringing? I mean, of course I know all this, but folks don't. We're introducing you. And what you grew up where? And
I grew up in Oakland, California, East Oakland to be exact. Bounced around the Bay Area, San Jose, East Palo Alto. Moms was addicted to crack cocaine. And so I was basically raised by the streets and, the commandments of the hood. So they took me there and, and I was great at it. I was a real street commando. So it was like, man, just enjoy it. And then it just came to a crashing halt when I did everything that I did.
And when I say these are the folks I cut my teeth on, I mean that. I mean, and it's funny for you, just for your children. I had to learn all about this because I didn't do that coming up. I was a square, right? I'm a little Catholic boy at school, square, and but
nothing wrong with that.
Oh, you damn right, ain't nothing wrong with that.
nothing at all.
No, and I go to college, and I want to tell you, and he understands this because he knows me. I read this book, right? And the book was the autobiography of Malcolm X. Mm-hmm. And that book literally, it did so much for me. It explained to me why my neighborhoods were the way they were. And then I wanted to do everything that I could to help young people become as enlightened as I was, because I knew that everything had been set up for us to fail.
Yeah.
I think he just taught me that it had been set up to fail. It was created that way. I learned about laws. I learned about
we didn't get that first chance.
Intentionality. I learned we never got 40 acres and a mule. Yeah. I learned about Plessy versus Ferguson. I mean, just stuff you learn and enlighten you. And then I knew I wanted to help my people. It was that simple. I started out, teaching, and Charles is a good example of when I found out that my early students was getting involved in that kind of lifestyle. I'm like, what? What are you doing? And they were brilliant. I knew they could do anything they wanted to do, but they were getting, in the phrase we use, is caught up. They were getting caught up. And so I had to figure out, what do you, and then it's good that you don't have to live through those times, but it was, what they believed was a lifestyle, I knew was a death style. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they firmly believed that they were doing, and this is I always explain this to people, and I had to learn this, they really believed they had to do this to survive. It was that simple. This was necessary to survive. And, I just no. And they said, yes. When I said no, and they yelled more, yes. And they used to talk about, man, you don't make no money. You a teacher, you ain't got no damn money. Look how much money I got. So I had to come up with an answer for everything. But this was a mentality. And, Charles was at that time one of the brothers of 15 years. And cats got into this stuff young, man.
Yeah, we were
11,
very influenced.
12, grinding out there, just believing that this was the way.
The only life.
That's it. That's it. And so, I'm like, no. It's like you could drive down the street and you see a car coming and getting ready to hit you. Mm-hmm. And the car is coming, or the train, and you're on the train track, James going, and they can't see what you see. And it was a whole club full of them, and he was one of them. And just thank you. I got to say thank you because that mentality is hard to crack, because they think people like me, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. One of Darren Eastman said one time, when you in that mindset, positivity sounds like wah, 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 wah,
sure
wah, wah, wah. So I got to say thank you for letting
yes, sir.
me even just broach the subject to you.
Yes, sir.
And that's a great example. The book. You took that was the first time, you opened up your mind to possibly something different.
Right.
And go ahead.
I mean, it's definitely a lifestyle change. Mm-hmm. And understand this, when you are taking the medicine, don't get it twisted. It's going to be hard.
Oh, yeah.
These are the three things I can tell you that's going to be a guarantee. The medicine is going to be hard. You have to, in order to be successful, understand that the medicine is going to be hard that you take. You have to surround yourself with people that's doing the same thing that you are doing. So if you're going back to your neighborhood, which is easy to be complacent because we go back, we see no hope, we see June and them getting shot and so-and-so selling this or whatever, and, we see everybody ride off and we don't have any money. Right. It's easy to go into despair, disenfranchised. All of that is easy. And the third thing is, when you're taking the medicine, you also have to give some to other people. So those are the three things that, because you're not going to be able to see someone doing what you done or what you are doing and have a conscious mind about letting them do that. Mm-hmm. You're going to be able to intervene. So you will either do whatever you can to intervene. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to do something physical. It may be giving somebody a book, giving somebody an encouraging word, giving somebody life, giving music, whatever art, whatever the case may be. You have to do that in order to be successful in your own journey.
I remember the day he picked this school, despite all of that. When I got him to say he was going to college, that was a big ass thing because I get him out of here, right?
That's right. Got me off the turf real fast.
Get out of Oakland.
Got me out of here.
That was big.
Yes, indeed.
And see that smile? See that beautiful smile your daddy got? He didn't smile like that back then.
Oh, man. Mean mugs and gold grills.
And remember, now, and let's throw into the fact that his mom was on drugs, right?
Yeah.
So that hurts. Some of the most angry young people I had were the ones that their mom neglected them for the drug. That's what the drug do to you, particularly that drug.
Oh yeah.
So he was angry, and then you got dudes coming around messing with him. That's why he tried to blow up somebody's house. But anyway, we're gonna skip that. And we're gonna go back to it. I'm gonna go to the good stuff. Let's go to when you went to Jackson State. That was, how did we figure out Jackson? Did you go into college?
I went on a college tour with San Francisco City College, and it was a lot of us. And I mean, that on that trip, it was Randy, Andrelin,
Jefferson,
Jamila, Charlotte. It was a gang of us, and I remember we went. I had a dream about this book, going to this nice library and finding it, and it was The Invisible Man. I told you about that.
Yep.
And I ended up going to Jackson State, going to the library and finding that book in the same place I had that dream.
Wow.
And I was like, I guess I'm going to Jackson then. So ended up in Jackson, Mississippi. And man, you know, shout out to Mississippi. All my folks still down there, you know, in Laurel, everywhere down there.
That was had to be a culture.
Yeah,
it from
it was
Oaktown
because I'm seeing, you know, we got Mexicans, Samoans, Tongans, we got everybody, and I get down there and it's literally black and white. And my second day there, the Ku Klux Klan marched past the school, so I'm just like, whoa. Like, I'm a kid from the town, like, oh, so, you know, I knew where to find the strap, so I had a strap in my bag, like, what are we doing? Like, I mean, I only been alive and free for a little bit, man. Don't get it twisted, homie. So, you know what I'm saying? But I met a lot of good people down there, you know, and played football and everything. But it was just like, man, that was a real culture shock because it was black and white. And, you know, people were doing things. You talking about 01. When I went there, people was doing stuff that we did like 94, 95. So I'm sitting back like, yeah, man, that's pretty old what you guys are doing. But, you know, look, if it works for you, it's good. You know, what's happening? You know, so, you know, it was, I can tell you when Mississippi really put its arms around me and embraced me, because all the people that I met, from my dude, the Bender family that took me in, to, you know, Muffin Brunson, just people that showed me love there, and they still show me love now. And it was like, you know, they just embraced me. Like, I mean, I was an Oakland kid. Like, you know, we rough around the edges. Like, I say Oakland now, people be like, man, y'all kind of wild. I'm like, nah, man, we a little zoo-ish, you know, but not that much. But yeah, so, you know, and it just changed the whole lifestyle, just seeing people do something different.
Our guest is Charles Robinson, street soldier, and his two progeny. That's a big word, huh? I don't know what that means. Children.
Yeah.
Two youngins.
That's it.
And we got to move. God, I said, well, I forgot you. I needed 2 hours. I should have took more time. You're at Jackson State. And I credit that being like the first breath of fresh air, getting down there, feeling the love from folks, taking you in. You know, us talking on the phone, me sending them scholarship money, and he figuring this out. That's just so much fun. That's why it's so much fun. You know, it's really fun. Yeah. I mean, how many units you got this semester? I mean, that semester. And you cut your education short, though. And just tell people why you did that.
I did. I joined the military. I ended up joining the Army. And it was right before 9/11, and then 9/11 happened, and then I was gone. I was at school for another year and deployed. I was gone overseas. So yeah, cut my career, my college career short, and it was really starting to blossom, because I was playing football, like I said, and just, you know, really getting in touch with myself. Like, Getting out of Oakland was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because if I would have stayed in Oakland, I definitely would have been a statistic. without a doubt. Like either incarcerated or selling drugs, dead, just all of that. I would have encompassed every stereotype that's out there. So
I want you to know we didn't worry that much about him when he was at Jackson State because black college campus, wonderful. We'll talk about how you guys showed up later. I remember when that started too.
Wow.
But when he went to Iraq,
yeah,
that's when we were worried. And Mr. Stell, you got to come in here. Lady Stell, you got to come in here. When he was there, we used to cell phone,
yes.
and because he's in a war.
Right.
He's in a war. The boy, he's over there. They shooting. They got bomb. That little bomb over here. No, they got that's all they do. That's a war. And we just talk about what we did when Charles was over there. We
prayed.
We prayed.
We prayed.
Yeah.
And see, and I didn't know Charles. I had not met him. But when I heard that because your teacher, you had Dr. Marshall and you had Miss Norris.
That's right.
And so I hear that Charles Robinson is in Iraq. I says, what? Oh my goodness. And then he sent a picture. And the picture, I don't know what the right words are, but sitting in a Jeep, it's like a convoy, the sand, the desert, and here he is in his uniform. But there was nothing cute about the picture. This was serious. This is in a life and death, and you can see, I could just see and sense the danger. And we had to stop, because see, I'm an old-fashioned praying woman. No, we got to pray for this boy. So see, before I knew who he was, personally, I was praying for your daddy. Okay? Stop the class.
Yeah.
We're going to pray.
Yeah, he would call
So see,
me
that's how you didn't know me, but that's what I was doing.
He would call us on a cell phone, literally, from Iraq, and talk to the kids in the class, what you're going to see Tuesday night. And so they would hear, talk about from, one thing hearing from Jackson, Mississippi is another thing hearing from, and we're praying that he comes back home safe. And we got you through that.
Yeah, and I mean, I still in my pocket right now have the card, the Commandments of the Hood that I carried around with my the picture of my wife at the time and my kids, and I got it right here. There it is.
You know that?
There it
That's a
is,
street
right
soldier
there.
card, and look at that.
And I still got it. Now, this thing been to Iraq and Afghanistan so many times, and it was on. I kept this right here next to my heart with the picture of my wife and kids at the time. So, yeah, that was. That was my thing. Like I said, I still got my card right now. So that.
Yeah,
I was
right there.
I was calling home like, Doc, growing up in East Oakland, if you ain't been shot at, you ain't lived. I'm just gonna be honest. So, I've been shot at a gang of times living in Oakland. It's a total different ball game when you over there and you seeing it, and coffee shops blowing up and vehicles blowing up, you don't even know. Like those days, if anybody tell you that they didn't have fear, they're lying.
Larry, I want you to hear this anecdote he told me over the phone about it's a Iraqi prisoner that he arrested, right? Or not? I mean that you were. Yeah. Yeah, you got to hear this, and then I want to go to you.
We were out on patrol one night, and we were patrolling our area, our AO, as they say, and we ended up catching this guy putting an IED in the hole, which is an improvised explosive device, and we catch him. And so I was the sergeant of the convoy at the time. So he was like, "Hey," as we zip tied him and sat him down, the gentleman was like, "Why do you fight for?" He kept asking me, "Why do you fight for this country? Why do you fight for this country?" And I was just like, so he ended up getting my attention, and we sat down, and I sat down next to him and talked to him as fast as I could, and he was like, "Why do you fight for a country?" Why do you fight for this country that didn't give you a right to vote until 1965? And you're talking about an Iraqi nationalist. Like, this dude he was like, when we caught him, the crazy thing was, he was like, we had some white guys attached to us. You know, we wear the same uniform. This guy was like, he had so much hate in him. He was like, man, this guy right here, he'll kill you in a heartbeat. And I mean, just saying all these things, and like, but the thing that got me was the voting rights of 1965. And I'm just like, man, we got kids in 12th grade in college that don't even know that information. And this is a dude that's 7,000 miles away from the country, and he knows about black folks not having the right to vote till 1965. I mean, it just blew my mind. Like, on that day, that changed my whole perspective of the world right there, because what Coach used to always say, the world is bigger than your block. Yeah. Nakia was born in September of 06, so I got it mixed up. But yeah, they come, and they came in between my deployments, so that should tell you something. Like, they came in between my deployments. I couldn't wait to get home, and they were like deployment babies, as we say. So, but yeah, I mean. And I'm proud of all my children. My son Caleb, that's why I'm here now. He's graduating from Santa Clara High Wednesday, and I'm proud of them because they choose. They're free thinkers. They choose their own path, and they don't get in trouble. Well, they don't get in trouble because they know their father is going to do some damage, but they don't get in trouble because they really are good kids. Like, they
tell me personality. Just talk about each of them. What just
Zion is, that's my athletic son. Like, if it's sports, if my son sports and video games, that's him. Like, I've always taught him that you take care of the weak and you take care of the unfortunate, because you're the voice for them when they cannot talk. My daughter, she is like that auntie that, always gives you the compliments and it supports you. Like, my daughter is the hype woman of the crew. So we could come out, I mean, just on the serious, like, I'm like, baby, I got this 2-piece bathing suit on. She like, Daddy, we gonna rock that. And you gonna rock it and look good in it. And we gonna keep rocking it. So she will hype you to all ends of the earth. And it's all sincerity when she does that.
So when I met them just a minute ago, Zion stepped up and extended his hand to shake hands. I was like, oh my goodness. And Kaya says, I'm a hugger. She moved right in and gave me a hug. I'm like, now see? Oh my goodness.
So I need another hour. I got to tell that story, which we told at the beginning, about how you found out about your dad's prior life, way before you were born. Just, which one wants to say? Go ahead.
We had come home from school one day. I think it was a Monday, and so me and Zion, we were we usually check the mail, and we sit the mail on the table, and so we see a book, and I was like, oh, that book hasn't been there before. So we pick up the book and start reading, and I was like, Zion, you know about this? He was like, and so then that's when we read the book.
What did you read?
We read that my dad had 2 trap houses. We was like, trap houses. We just stopped there and was like, trap houses. And so I was like, Zion, trap house, you know what a trap house is? And he was like, yeah, trap house. I was like, oh. So then we finished reading the book. And then so he comes home, and Zion was like, I'm finna get behind the door. You just stay right here on the couch. And I was like, okay. You want to finish the rest?
All right. So, like, we was, he walked in the house, and I can remember he was working at Comcast. And he came home, put his bag on the floor. And then my sister was sitting on the couch and was like, so you want to run trap houses now? And then he like, what you talking about? So my sister had the book in her hand, and she's like, this is what I'm talking about. So he walks completely in the house, and I shut the door, and I was like, oh, so you want to run trap houses now? I was acting like I was the father.
A scene from Intervention. Just think Intervention.
I said, so you want to blow up houses?
Back in the mic.
I said, so you want to blow up houses? And then my sister was like shaking her head like, I'm so disappointed in you.
So disappointed. Yeah.
And then, so we ended up talking about it, and then he ends up telling us what happened. But he ends up telling us what happened because of the struggle that he went through and he had to evolve through. So,
Mind you, public service announcement: do not lie to your kids, man. They can dig and find everything. Like, I didn't even lie to them. I just omitted it. So I didn't even say anything. It was just plausible deniability. I did not know anyone, did not know anything. I'm from Oakland. Like, we don't know nothing. Like, he can get shot next to me. Like, I don't know what happened. I didn't see nobody. I don't know any. Yo, kids is way too smart.
That's right. They are. What? Just keep talking. You were talking about your dad before. Just talk about your life now. What do you want to be? What do you want to, do with your life and grow up and throw your dad and mom in there? Are they in Arkansas?
They live in Tennessee.
In Tennessee.
Nashville.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah.
Cashville.
Yeah. He went back and got his degree, by the way. I want to know, but he did finish.
I did finish.
You did finish? Sure
At
did.
Tennessee State.
Tennessee State.
Hate y'all.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I plan on going to either Jackson State, where my father attended, or Texas A&M, and I plan to be an astrophysicist.
Oh,
and work at
Lord,
NASA.
are you really?
Yeah, she
Yes,
loves
sir.
some STEM.
Do that.
Math and science is my favorite subjects. And I keep watching the Hidden Figures.
Yeah.
That's what inspired me. Taraji P. Henson inspired me to be an astrophysicist. So that's what I plan to do.
We're going to call Taraji and tell her.
Please do.
And Olivia Spencer and all of them. That's a great film. Great
Yes.
movie. It really got you. Astrophysicist.
An astrophysicist. Like I like look up like what degrees you have to have and everything, and I'll just study it. Like while I'm at school, like we have free time, I'm studying that, and people like, what are you doing studying astrophysics?
We drove past the NASA research in Mountain View today, and she almost jumped out on the freeway and ran over there to get in there. So
Yes.
Use that.
well, Zion, I play sports right now. So right now in football, me and my friends took my school to the championship. I'm currently second in the city of Tennessee for track.
What's your where you run?
Oh, I run the 100, the 200, the 4x1, 4x2, shot put, and high jump.
Are you the whole team? You one of them cats when they had them scoring meets. Yeah. We gonna get points in every
Deion
event.
Sanders.
yeah, he fast.
Bo Jackson.
My parents, like you said, Dr. Marshall, you was a Catholic kid that going to a private school. So I'm fortunate enough to get private school offers, and I'm going to a private school right now. So when I grow up, if college ball doesn't work out, I plan on being a real estate agent or a lawyer, because I feel like I can help not only the people on my block, but the people in my society. So like I can help them push and strive and do greater things. So like when my dad said, don't be greedy and have the medicine for yourself, give it out to your whole community. So
How do you two, brother and sister, get along?
Horrible.
That's fire and water right there.
It's like sometimes like we get along when like we want to do stuff with each other. Like we like, oh, Zion want to do this, and like, yeah, like Zion, what you want to eat? Like, sure. And sometimes we get along, and then like when it comes to me messing with his games and stuff, he's like, no, he just like be ready to fight me. So, I mean, he's a cool brother. Like I couldn't ask for nothing more. Like he teaches me
That's
a
the
lot.
nicest thing you can say, because it's hard. I got 5 sisters, and I don't know if I could have said that when I was young. Like, y'all leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's very nice of you to say.
What y'all feel about the difference between Tennessee and California?
country.
I can say like it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like a real different environment. And I would like really want to see how it feels to grow up here because like when you look around, it's a different environment. And in Nashville, it's just like a lot of kids pretend to be something they're not. But it feels like here, like they actually went through that. So they are who they are. So I would really want to see like how it feels to grow up here.
Yeah, I can say like here there's a lot of different personalities you can tell, but I feel like in Tennessee there's a lot of the same personalities, so you would see the same actions or emotions, and I feel like here in California is different. Like you can express yourself here, because in Tennessee you would be considered a joke if you express your feelings there or soft. So I feel like it's somewhere you can open up and really talk to people and talk to yourself.
Funny, I want to move to the South and get away from all of this stuff. I'm about to sit on the porch. You know, I like that.
I love the South, but I am so ready to get out of the South now. Like I am so ready. I am so ready. Like when they graduate, I got a 6-year plan. When they graduate, she's the last one. She's in 8th grade. When she graduates, I am headed west. I am getting on 40, and I am coming west. I am
listening
to
E40.
All of it. Yuck, everything, man. I'm listening to all the delinquents, all of it. The mechanics, I got it all.
Your dad means a lot to us. What can I say? I'm really proud of him, and I'm just glad he allowed me to be involved in his life. You know, because we could have pushed our way in. You know, I'm coming, right? You know, he just said, "Kiss my right." You know, and he could have, and folks have said that, but we knew that wasn't the real him, and we wanted him to stay alive and free. We wanted him to have the future that he's had. To have the experiences, you have you can guess. It's so hard going to funerals, man. You know, and visiting people in prison, you know, having mothers cry and, you know, my baby. We just didn't want that. Jack and I didn't want that. Coach didn't want that. But to do that, we have to convince them, don't do it. And so. It's been great. It's just been wonderful to see him through his trial, and you know, he just never gives up. He never stops. But the love he has, right? You know, it's funny. Cats used to say, you know, guys on the street, you know, if you could turn that around, they could be, you know, if they could go as hard on the other side as they could on that side, they'd be because it's all there. They just using it in a negative way.
Negative way.
And. You know, he's something. And I will say this.
Well, I want to say something while you're thinking about what you want to say.
Okay.
I think it's just amazing the wisdom of a parent to know when it's time to listen to their children. And one of the things that I wanted to hear is what happened to you when your children looked at you and said, okay, so this is what you're doing, huh? What that meant to you. The impact that had on you, and how that has affected the kind of father that you've become and continue to be. See, our children teach us something, and I don't know. I want to hear that. If you can you be as authentic with that and tell us what happened to you?
Man, that was like I've never been struck by lightning before, or shot. That was probably both at the same time when they said that. It was because it was like when you got out of that life, you don't really deal with it no more. You kind of push it to the side, and it's like it's still there. Like don't get it twisted. Like I will bring that monster out if I have to. And hearing them say, "Dad, what is this?" You know, like. I was like, wow, okay, people are really watching me. And Doc say that all the time, like, you don't know who's watching you. He'd say that all the time. And we see everybody come up when Zach and them and JT and Shimmy and Paul and all them and Corey, they would always say, hey, somebody else is watching you. When we came up, somebody else is watching you. So when my children said that, it hit me like I said, I felt like I got shot and struck by lightning at the same time. Like it was, hey, Dad, what are you doing? What have you done? Why did you do this? So I had to explain to them that, you know, at the time I was doing this, there's no excuse why I did that. I do not condone that. What I did at the time I thought was living, and I was not living. I understand that. I was just following a script, and I had to break that down to them. It was they hit me hard. That was very impactful when they said that. So
one of the things I say, this is an early Father's Day show, right, is when you're really into parenting, being a father or a mother, seriously, it regulates your behavior.
Yes, it does.
It ain't so much regulating your behavior, it regulates your behavior, see, because you got to watch everything you do because of y'all. And that's one of the great things. You know, you don't live for yourself now. You living for you know, I know that was like,
that's it. And I mean, and I always tell them, you can ask them now, what did I tell y'all the greatest job I had?
Was being a dad.
Oh.
That's it. It's the greatest job I've ever had. Being a father.
Here's another one. That's it. And your dad has done all the research for you. So
right. You don't have to live that life. Like they do not have to live that life. Like you don't have to sell dope. You don't have to do none of that. You don't have to go to jail. You don't have to. I did it all for you.
Nope.
And matter of fact, I'll put it in a 6-page pamphlet. You can have it.
Anything that people tell you that sounds like it's wonderful is all a lie. What you're talking about, being an astrophysicist, that's living. You're talking about being you can run how many Olympic athlete, this athlete, that athlete, real estate agent, that's living. That's the way it's supposed to be. What was happening to him was not the way it's supposed to be. What happened to him and his mom, that's not the way it's supposed to be. If people get caught up in that, this is family. This is the way it's supposed to be. And we live so that things can be the way they're supposed to be. And that's why it's so much joy, period.
Oh, yeah.
It's that simple.
Oh, yeah.
Blackstreet made this song a long time ago. I love it. Joy, joy, joy. I play it sometimes just to play it, just to hear those beautiful voices. This is family. You sure can. You sure can.
I can also say that, our dad was so much of a leader to us. It's like everywhere we go, sports, like I do sports also. Like they call me auntie because like I'm always, when people are in detention, I'm like, what you doing? Why are you in detention? Zion, he uplifting people like, hey, you can't do it. Like I run short distance too, and I be out there running the 800, and they be like, you really doing that? And I couldn't even do that. I'm like, all you have to do is push. Like if you have faith in yourself. Like my cousin, she was like, I can't do it. She had hurt her leg, and I was like, just push, because he made us leaders.
These are your children, and what do we teach you? The more you know, the more you owe. Thank you for being here.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank
Most
you.
definitely.
This is wonderful. We'll see you at the club on Tuesday. And a soldier story. I hope you listen, everybody. This is real. This is true. This is not a script. This is real reality. Reality radio. All right. We'll see you next week on Alive and Free Radio. Street Soldiers. Good night.
Tell me what you see when you look at me. Do you see another brother lost in these streets looking for his soul?
Trying to find my soul.
Or do you see another brother searching for lost souls in these streets? A street soldier.
Street soldier.
Here to help you get that chip off your shoulder, warm your colder days and sober